Thank you so much. Monique Braxton, thank you so very much for that warm and kind introduction. I have to be honest, and is there a way I could just have just a tad bit more light if possible? Don't tell anybody. I need to see. We'll make do. So when I saw the band, and Monique, you said they were from Gant? No, that was West Philly?
West Philly was the band.
West Philly was the... So listen, let me tell you, that West Philly band, you know what I was thinking about?
Right there
where is she? Stands up, Principal West Philly. Give her a round of applause. Oh. Is this Ella Travis's daughter? Listen, I've got to straighten up and fly right. Her mother was the vice principal of my middle school, the Austin Meehan Middle School, Dr. Ella Travis. Small world, isn't it? So listen, in my mind, Madam Principal, all I saw was scholarships for the marching band because they are readily available. And then the cheerleaders from Gant, from George Washington, the School of the Future. Let's listen. You know, I'm biased, and I don't ever think cheerleaders get the recognition they deserve. Give our cheerleaders a round of applause. My Oak Lane Wildcats, I started thinking about my Wildcat days. It's an honor and a privilege to be here on today. But before I begin, I really need to thank the elected officials who are present here on today for the state of the city and our school district of Philadelphia. You hear me talk a lot about intergovernmental cooperation and collaboration. And when it comes to ensuring that our school district of Philadelphia and our students and parents, they have the support that they need, City of Philadelphia can't do it alone. So I want to ask the council member for this district, Council Member Lozada, to stand up. Just keep and remain standing. Rep Burgos, stand up for me, please. Council Member Phillips, 9th District. Head of the Black Caucus, Rep Napoleon, stand, please. And I don't know if she's elected, but they gave me Quibbler Divine. Quibbler, can you stand? Okay, well, she gave me your name as an elected official. I just wanted to note for the record. And listen, I am unapologetic about this. I am a pro-worker, pro-labor, pro-union mayor, and I want Art, I want you and all of the labor leaders who are here to please stand. This is extremely important. I'm not sure if Robin is, thank you. There's my Robin. Listen, extremely important, and don't sit down. If you feel embarrassed, I'm trying to. Stay right there. It is also important right now for us to acknowledge the presence of our governor's office. If you ever question the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's commitment to public education, when our governor, Josh Shapiro, began serving our Commonwealth, he made it very clear through his actions that he supported public education. And I want the governor's office to please to give him a round of applause. Thank you. And then finally, three other people. One has been ensuring that messages regarding the school district of Philadelphia are communicated across the city, you know, making sure that the good works that the school district of Philadelphia, you know, is actually engaged in on a daily basis, that it's reported. And with that being said, I want Bob Bogle and Council Bob Archie from Duane Morris. Bob Bogle's from the Philadelphia Tribune, and Bob Archie is from Duane Morris. And then there's the, not yet, please stand, Mr. Bogle. I didn't ask you to sit down yet. This next gentleman, if you don't know him, you should. And you don't know him, but you know of his work. When you think about the training and professional development that has been readily available for principals in the school district of Philadelphia. When you think about math curriculum, when you think about supports, coaching, so many different investments that are made in the school district of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Police Department, a new cohort, talk about investing in education, a new cohort, master's level program for police officers in the school, in the city of Philadelphia. His foundation has done that work. You won't see his name on a building. You won't see his name on a flyer. He's more comfortable in getting it done. And I want you to know we are grateful. I'm going to ask Joe Neubauer and the Neubauer Foundation to please stand. I'm sorry, Joe. You can holler at me later. Okay, thank you all so much. I wanted to make sure you were recognized. Let me just affirm for the record, Dr. Watlington, along with our board president, Streeter, along with Vice President Ashley, and the entire Board of Education. I want to affirm that the strength of this district, it reflects the seriousness of its leadership. And I am very proud of the partnership that we share. And I'm proud of it because if you look at the school district of Philadelphia over the past year, the school district has continued to make steady and meaningful progress. Well, what do you mean when you say that, Mayor? Test scores are rising, attendance is improving, dropout rates are declining, and those gains are real, and they reflect what happens when we invest in our students. And it's important for me to affirm for the viewing public who's not here, this progress doesn't happen by accident. It only happens because of the educators, the school staff, the families, and the students who show up every day committed to learning. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your work. Please give the leadership a huge, huge round of applause. Let me affirm that, it feels like a whole lot longer than this, but I've just learned that I've only been here for 2 years. By Boko, it feels like 100 years, right? But from my first days as mayor, I've been clear. Education is not just one priority among many for the Parker administration. It is foundational for our administration. And we back that priority with action. Because my friends from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, they know this about me, along with those in City Council. I come from the Baldwin-esque school of thinking. I don't believe what you say until I see what you do. So if you say that you're committed to public education and you are elected to public office, you should have some very tangible, actionable items that you have moved on and enacted to affirm your investment and commitment to public education. So what have we done as a city? The city of Philadelphia has made sustained, long-term investments in our schools because our children's needs are urgent and they're ongoing. And so Councilmember Lozada and Councilmember Phillips, I'm real proud that we've stepped up in City Hall. How? In my first One Philly budget, we shifted $25 million in property tax revenue to the school district of Philadelphia. And that was the first budget. And the second 5-year plan shifted another $12 million, started in FY30. Now, this is why this is important. And you have to, the viewing public, parents, educators, and stakeholders, I hope you will connect these dots even more, particularly for those of us that you elect the public office to represent the school district of Philadelphia. When I was on the trail, I committed to working to see a 3% shift of property tax revenues going to our schools. And the reason why I had to say it is because it's easy to say that you support public education. You can do that in a number of ways. But when you commit to a specific number, now you have a way to hold me accountable. And how we're shifting those taxes to the school district, you have to be able to measure. And that's not just for me, that's for anyone who's elected to public office. And so I am happy that we're halfway through. I'm only on year 2, and we've shifted 1.5% of that property tax revenue to the school district, and I'm keeping my promise to our children. And I am really happy about that, and I hope that you are pleased to see that shift in revenue to the school district of Philadelphia. I think that's something we should be proud of, Councilmember Phillips and Councilmember Lozada. Again, we can't do this work alone. Governor Shapiro, our Philadelphia legislative delegations in Harrisburg, especially our Speaker Joanna McClinton, our House Appropriations Chairman Jordan Harris, and our Senate Appropriations Chairman Senator Hughes, for insisting that public education was non-negotiable and for fully delivering on the governor's budget address. That's important for us to affirm. Why? Because every child deserves a fair chance at a quality public education. In addition to that, it's important for us to affirm that our partnership with the district, it goes well beyond funding. It's not just a money thing. Together, we are working to strengthen the systems that support not just our students, but their caregivers and their family members from an early learning throughout their careers. So a critical part of this work is rebuilding and sustaining the educator workforce. Now, thank you, Monique, for affirming, and I always state this for the record. I am a certified secondary English teacher by profession. And I have to remind people that means that I had to pass the NTE in the praxis for real in order to get my certification. I'm really, really proud about that. Now, somebody is in the audience saying, certified secondary English teacher, you passed that NTE in practice, but you spelled Eagles wrong. I did. Teachers make mistakes sometimes too. Nevertheless, that educator workforce is extremely important. So I want you to know that we are investing in stronger teacher pipelines and supporting retention and creating pathways, Representative Cherelle Parker, that reflect the diversity of our students and respect the profession. Listen to this. The share of teachers of color in the district and charter schools has grown to 38.5%. Listen, that's the highest rate since 2001, and that is largely driven by the recruitment of teachers of color who represented 57% of new hires last year. You always hear me say you can't be what you don't see, right? So you need to see yourself. That's why it's important that the diversity that exists within the entire city of Philadelphia, it is reflected in our classrooms, in our city, in our state government, wherever we are. So I'm super proud about that. Another key part of the strategy is something that I talked about on the trail, and Dr. Watlington, I think people were trying to frame it, but I don't think that they quite understood at the beginning what we were describing when they heard me mention that I wanted year-round schooling for our young people in the city of Philadelphia. And our extended day, extended year initiative is actually implementing, and it is the vehicle through which we are making access to educational opportunities available year-round. And what do I mean? At its core, our EDEY is an academic strategy. It's expanding learning time, it's providing tutoring, enrichment, and a deeper connection to school. It is also supporting working families by providing free, safe, and high-quality care beyond the school day. Because of EDEY, students across the city are discovering new interests, building schools and developing confidence, whether they're exploring STEM, the arts, or athletics. And I want to thank these members of my team, their leadership and their partnership. Our Chief Deputy Mayor, Vanessa Garrett Harley, and our Chief Education Officer, Dr. Deborah Carrera, Sharon Ward, Jessica Shapiro. They turned the vision into a reality. I can think it, Councilmember Gaultier. I can think it, but you have to have a strong staff who understands the assignment and they can implement the vision. What does it look like now? 40 schools now, both traditional public and public charters, and 12,000 extended day, extended year slots. In fact, I want you to think about this. Over 2,100 students, and I want you to think about this. Over 2,100 students enrolled in our winter break camp this year. The fill rate for the winter break last year was 66%. We had just started, Art. We had a 66% fill rate last year. This year, winter break, the fill rate was 87%. Don't tell me it's not working. So just last week, we visited some extended day, extended year winter break camps, and Dr. Carrera told me about parents with young children at Solace Cohen Elementary. I haven't been there, Dr. Wallington and President Streeter, so and Sarah, you got to take me. I've got to go there to see this. They told me about parents there who have been considering, I want you to listen to this choice, parents who have been considering whether or not one of them would have to leave the workforce because they couldn't afford after-school care for their children. But thanks to the extended day, extended year initiative, that's no longer the choice that they have to make. Those parents can go to school and their children, clearly they have access to academic enrichment programs. Let's give that family a round of applause. Finally, I want to close here, and I've got to make sure I mention this because this is a topic of major discussion, and this is the issue of our school facilities. Many of our buildings are aging. Philadelphia is an old city. Our housing stock is old, most of it built around the 1950s. Our government buildings are old, so maintenance and facility improvements are extremely important. But for our school buildings that are aging, responsible leadership here, when thinking about those buildings, it means that we have to acknowledge that not every facility currently meets the needs of us being able to provide a 21st century high quality education so our children will be able to read, write, think, speak, and compute at a level that will allow them to compete in this global economy, because it's no longer just competing in Philadelphia or the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We're talking about global competition that we have to prepare our young people to be self-sufficient for when they leave here and they make a decision about what their future will look like, whether it's college, whether it's a skilled trade, no matter what it is that they decide to do in their future. This is the foundation. Our obligation and my obligation as mayor is clear: to provide students with safe, modern, and inspiring spaces that will prepare them for the future. So as we move forward, I want everyone here to think about this. We have to make sure that we're going to work thoughtfully and transparently. The key is together, guided by a shared goal that we want great schools that give every child the opportunity to thrive. Now that is for, and an article just came out today, and we got a chance to read the results of the surveys with parents and stakeholders, and you all give the school district a round of applause for their engagement process. You can't say that it didn't come from the ground up. Extremely important. So I'm looking forward to Dr. Wallington and President Streeter and Vice President Ashley to having conversations about that facilities process. But I also have to mention this about the vacant buildings. My administration is working with Superintendent Wallington, the school board, on a goal to put into their best and highest use every underutilized school building, including creating housing for students, families, our stakeholders, our staff, so that we can have stakeholders who live in the communities that they serve. Now, I want to tell you this. I think I have some pretty tough skin. If you've been viral when you didn't want to go viral on social media, you would develop some really tough skin. But some things do get under my skin. I've been serving in public office in my own right since 2005. I spent 10 years in Harrisburg, and 5 of those years as chair of the Philadelphia delegation, where I became the chief negotiator for Philadelphia-specific issues at a crucial time for the school district of Philadelphia, when then Superintendent Dr. Height told us if we don't get a new recurring revenue source, we won't be able to open school in September. Teachers are going to be laid off. SEIU, they're going to be laid off. Administrators are going to have to be scaled down if we didn't get new and recurring revenue. And every time we needed to do that, Rep. Napoleon and Rep. Parker, we delivered. We delivered a cigarette tax. We delivered a sales tax. We delivered revenue that we needed to keep the school district of Philadelphia going during that time. This is what I didn't know. Right now, I can think there are about 20 to 21 vacant, persistently vacant school-owned buildings here in the city of Philadelphia. I asked for a list because I want to know how many and how long. And I thought they were going to tell me maybe 1 or 2 years, maybe 3. Maybe we might even get to 4 or 5, Dr. Cooper. But we had schools that have been vacant, school district-owned buildings, vacant from 3 years up to 30 years old. Listen. I've never seen the legislature come up with a plan to put those buildings into good use. I've never seen the mayor come up with a plan to put those buildings in use. Right now, you know what they've been doing for that 3 up to 30 years? They've been red ink on the school district's budget. Buildings not being used. The school district, I didn't realize this because it's not my sphere of work. I didn't realize that, you still have to keep some of the heat on in those buildings so that the pipes don't burst. Did you know landscaping has to occur and those buildings have to be sealed from a public safety perspective? And I won't mention the crisis. Having to sit in a meeting when we have a public safety crisis in the city of Philadelphia and have parents and residents say it should be a crime for the city school district to allow these buildings to be persistently vacant in these communities for so long that they become public health and safety hazards right here in our city. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Audience, did I just say we're talking about schools that are occupied right now? Is that what we just talked about? We talked about schools that were what? Persistently vacant. For how long? From 3 to 30 years. No one has come up with a plan. We're working through it now. We're going to work closely with the district, with our school board, our planning and development, Chief Deputy Mayor Vanessa Garrett Harley, Tiffany Thurman, along with planning and development, and all of our proposals. Of course, when we introduce our budget is in March, the budget introduction. That budget will be introduced to the City Council of Philadelphia for consideration. But I want you to be clear about what my goal and objective is. It's not okay for me to have 20 to 21 buildings persistently vacant, red on the school district's balance sheet, generating no revenue and not at all working in their best and highest use. We're going to find a way to do what has never been done in the city of Philadelphia before, develop a plan for those persistently vacant buildings so that they can add value to our great city. Before I leave here today, I'm going to ask everyone to do something that's extremely important to me. I didn't realize it until last week. I was talking to a fellow mayor who was actually on the West Coast, and they said to me, you know, I know you just got here. They were elected long before I arrived. And they said, well, we've been watching this social media, and there's a sense of unity in the city of Philadelphia. I said, listen, we're working towards it. It's not perfect, but we're trying to ensure that members of our city, residents of our city, stakeholders here, they understand that when we work together and not in silos, but everyone who has the ability to make a contribution to move our city forward, there is nothing that we can't accomplish together. And so that's what I mean when you hear me say one Philly, a united city, and now, because we're in 2026, one America, a united nation. I want everybody to put one finger in the air for me right now. I want to hear you all repeat after me and say one Philly, a united city, one America, a united nation. You all sound like you're having lunch at the country club. Put your ones in the air. Let's do it the Philadelphia way. Let me hear you all repeat after me and say one Philly, a united city, one America, a united nation. We're going to do the best we can with what we have, but we're at war with the status quo in the city of Philadelphia, and we're going to leave the city and the school district better than we found it when we got here. Thank you.